I'm Kelley. I'm the director of product at Hive. Been at Hive for about 5 years. Started in CS and moved to product. So I've been working with Canny since we started using Canny in 2020. So I've seen it through its whole evolution, which is really exciting. Before Canny, it was difficult and time consuming to really get a good understanding of what our users, what problems they were facing, what features they were wanting us to build. We relied on user interviews and then just kind of, anecdotes from our customer success team and our sales team. And there was no source of truth for that. So we were kind of building things more one-off based on feedback from one or two teams. So it was time consuming, one, to do all of those user interviews. And then we also knew that we weren't getting like a good, breadth of feedback. It was just primarily coming from the people that we were talking to, either in the sales process or in onboarding. We didn't have a formal tool. We really just relied on our internal, because we have a chat feature built into Hive. So we just relied on that chat. And then, we were also in office prior to 2020, prior to COVID. So it was like someone would come over to my desk and be like, hey, this user is having this issue or requesting this thing. Can we build it? So it was very informal. So we used it kind of as an internal tool at first, just so we could all put in the feedback that we were hearing. And then, if CS heard something from one of their customer sales could go in and vote on it. Like maybe they heard the same thing in a call. So we really just were using it internally. We didn't publish and we didn't market that we had this tool. So that's kind of how we started. I think once we realized the value of it, that's when we were like, okay, let's put this out into the world. Let's put this out to our users. And that's when we really shifted. Again, in 2020, the world was changing. That's when we really shifted to being customer first, community built. So that's when we really went full tilt towards publicizing it and requesting that our users vote and engage in our feature request board. We're in Canny day to day, just seeing the new things that are coming through, merging requests that are similar, making sure we really understand what's trending, what's new, what people are saying. And then we also will comment on the request if we need more information, really engaging with users through there, just to help build a sense of community. We use Zapier to connect Hive with Canny. So that way, so how it works is when a Canny is moved to under review, that creates a ticket in our tool in Hive. And that's what we use throughout the SDLC process. So, the product team specs it out, the design, that's their designs, we pass it on to the eng team. As it moves through that cycle, it gets updated in Canny. So once it moves to, our backlog, it's marked as planned. Once it's in development, it's marked as in progress. So that takes the burden off of us to keep everything up to date. And that just ensures that when it's marked as complete in our tool, it's marked as complete in Canny. Customers can get notified right away. One of the things that's been really helpful is taking some of the burden off of our sales and CS team, just for updates and customer communication. So previously, someone would request something, the CSM would say, okay, we've accepted it, we're working on it, and then that person would constantly request updates from that CSM, hey, how's it going? When is this going to be released? Now, since we push everyone to Canny, they get those updates through Canny. So it just takes some of that burden off of our sales and CS team. It's not something I've really considered, but once it started happening, it's oh yeah, this is nice. That's kind of our source of truth for what things are being worked on and updated, and it's great. The other thing that I will say is users have started to comment and help each other out in Canny. So we'll see some of that. Someone will post a request or an issue, hey, I'm having this problem, and then someone else will comment and say, I had that same thing too. You could actually do XYZ. So it's fun to see the community grow and and be fostered within Canny. So that's been really nice. One thing I love most about Canny is just, I would say, ease of use. Just we still do a lot of user interviews, and we're still talking to customers, day to day. But um, the reach that Canny has is beyond what we could do as a team. There's thousands of people commenting and voting and requesting in Canny. We can't talk to thousands of people. We measure it in a few different ways. One of the goals that our product team has quarterly is to hit a certain number of votes. So, X number of votes completed via feature requests and issues that come up per quarter. And then we also measure Canny impact kind of indirectly through NPS. So looking at our NPS score and how that improves over time based on what we're completing in Canny. We have seen a significant increase in NPS over the 3 years that we've been using Canny. You can see on the graph, it's like pretty, it's pretty clear when we started focusing on community and community driven improvements. I think internally, the product team really likes it. It's really helping us crystallize our product roadmap. And one thing that we've started doing in the past 2 quarters is actually pulling all of the Canny data and aggregating it by feature. So seeing like where the distribution of votes lies and focusing on that specific feature. So for we're 1 quarter ahead. So in Q3, we saw that people were voting on a lot on forms requests, settings requests, and notification requests. So we started focusing that on Q4. So it's really helping us, like I said, like crystallize the product roadmap and making sure that what we're working on is really what our users are wanting to see, instead of doing kind of like disparate one-off feature requests.